that blood-curdling wail? It chills me to the bone even now. And that desperate man running for his life. But I'm getting ahead of myself. First things first, my name is James Watson. The time, 1889, the place, London, England. Holmes and I were studying for our upcoming university exams. A lovely Wednesday morning, or so I thought at the time.
So, Dr. Mortimer, are you sure the Sherlock Holmes fellow is the right man for the job,
An old reputation, the very best. A brilliant mind, or so I'm told. I believe it's... this way. Now hurry along, we don't want to be late.
They don't even know we're coming.
Exactly, all the more reason.
I brought more coffee. Will there be anything else? I'm preparing a nice rabbit for tea this evening. Would you prefer the fresh mustard? Will you be going out this evening? Her Majesty, the Queen of England, is downstairs in her knickers. Shall I tell her to come back tomorrow?
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson. Good one.
And who will be cleaning up all of this?
I'll take care of it.
You better.
My mind rebels at stagnation, Watson. Give me problems, give me work, give me the most intricate analysis, and I am in my own proper atmosphere. How weary, stale, and flat seem to me all the uses of the world. Fie on it! Was that Byron?
Shakespeare. Really, Holmes, how can you be to ask? A child of 10 would know that.
Perhaps, but a child of 10 would be incapable of identifying 47 varieties of star-ash at a glance, like myself. Partly because his brain is cluttered up with such useless information. No, there's nothing of interest for me, Watson. I'm bored.
Holmes?
What is it, Watson?
Holmes, there seems to be two people loitering outside our door. They may be up to something. You see?
The woman in the rag and sleeved overcoat?
Yes, what do you make of her?
She's overdressed.
It does seem like a heavy coat for this weather.
But not for the weather whence she came.
What do you mean?
Let's see. A woman of about 35, not a lender lad, a medical person like yourself, practices in the country, the West Country, Devon. In fact, she spends a good deal of time on Dartmoor. She's not married, and she's possibly an antiquarian.
Dear Holmes, how on earth do you know all these things?
For goodness sakes, Watson, it's so obvious.
It's so obvious to me. I admit the bag does seem to label her a doctor.
You think? Well, look closer. There's a luggage tag on the back. She's been on the train recently. The smear of red clay on the instep of the boots, it's a clear indication that she has been in front of Paddington Station, where Craven Street has been executed. That red clay is unique to the neighbourhood. The Great Western Railway passes through Devonshire on its way to Paddington. And her coat, so at a season leather, but very useful if she lives in or near Dartmoor, where the autumn has been a frightfully cold. The coat can stain a chalky grey along the bottom of the head. That occurs when the coat gets wet in the rain and comes in contact with the native limestone of Dartmoor, leaching the mineral into the wall. Duh!
And is that this match correct?
It's testified by her hand. There's no ring.
And the other man?
Well, he spent a good portion of his life on it. That's them. Oh, that's for us. Oh, yes, finally something interesting is happening. We'll need more coffee. Oh, when did that happen? No matter. Now is a dramatic moment of fate, Watson, when something walks into your life, and you know not whether for good or ill. I love this.
May I present Dr. Mortimer?
I am here to see Sherlock Holmes. Please tell him that Dr. Nancy Mortimer is here with Sir Henry Baskervilles.
Oh, please, do come in.
We need the brilliant mind of Sherlock Holmes this very instant. No time to waste.
Uncle Sherlock isn't here, I'm afraid. He's let his uses flat while we're studying for our exams. I'm his niece, Shirley Holmes.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Did you just say Uncle Sherlock?
Yes, he's somewhere in Europe, Italy by now, with another 2 months to go. He's with my Uncle John.
Uncle John?
Dr. John Watson. Yes, they're colleagues, best friends, inseparable. I'm James Watson. How do you do?
I'm afraid, Sir Henry, that we have wasted our time. If the famous Sherlock Holmes is not here, then there is no one to solve this diabolical mystery.
Diabolical, did you say? Then perhaps we can help.
Anything is better than studying for our exams, let me tell you.
Well, no offense, little lady, but this is a job for real detectives. Intelligent, strong, afraid of nothing detectives.
Oh, no offense taken, Sir Henry. But you are talking to the best and the brightest.
He is.
As for intelligent, James is studying to be a doctor, like his famous Uncle George.
I am. And Shelley is studying logic and philosophy, so she can follow in Uncle Sherlock's famous footsteps. And as for strong and afraid of nothing, Shirley.
Sir Henry, your honors. Please, don't speak like When it gets dark, bad things happen, Sir Henry. A woman has to be prepared.
Well, very impressive. Won't happen again, but very impressive. Well, Dr. Martin, let's give them a shot at the mystery, eh? Time is of the essence.
The two wannabes.
I'm afraid so.
If you're half as good as your uncle.
Tell me, Dr. Mortimer, how is your practice in Devon?
Good, but how?
You live on Dartmoor?
On the very edge of it. But this is marvelous.
Isn't it lonely there for your husband?
Oh, I'm not married. Of course you're not. Excuse me.
Sir Henry, you are from Canada.
That's right, Miss Holmes.
Province of Alberta, near Edmonton and Calgary, I think. You spent a good deal of your life on horseback, and though not a military man, you've grown accustomed to issuing orders and seeing them carried out. Your left leg, it was broken as a child, probably falling off a horse. You're an only child, you're not married, and your horse is dappled grey yellow.
Miss Holmes, how did
The
you...
shape of the way on the hem of your coat, the hair on your coat, the way you hold yourself, the callus on your right hand, the scars on your fist, lack of on your face, your father's chain fob, and no ring, and something about your accent.
Would you please sit down?
Thank you.
Coffee?
Yes, please.
Now, how may we be of assistance?
Miss Holmes, I am the chief medical officer for the area. Our little village is called Grimpen. Yes, G-R-I.
Yes, I can spell Grimpen. Now, how may we be of assistance?
Miss Holmes, in my bag, I have an ancient manuscript.
Antiquarian.
Let me see that, please. Early 18th century, unless it's a forgery.
But how did you arrive at that date?
It would be a poor expert if you know to put the date of a document with a decade or so. Let me see that. I put your document at 1730.
Amazing! The exact date is 1742.
Well, would you be so good as to tell me what connection that is between that antique document and the recent tragic death of Sir Charles Baskervilles?
Good Lord, Miss Holmes, how on earth
Our
could you
little
possibly-
village is called Grimpen. That took me to my clipping club here. You see, Doctor, I'm a collector, like yourself, except I collect suspicious deaths and lurid crimes. And there he has it, from the Devon County Chronicle of June 14.
Tragedy at Baskerville Hall.
Second headline.
Sir Charles Baskerville found dead.
Dr. Mortimer, we need to tell them about the family curse.
Yes, but first, the curse.
Cold shivers ran up and down my arms. What were we getting ourselves into?
One dark and shadowy night, when the vile and terrible Sir Hugo Baskervilles sat brooding in his hall in his bedroom. He is an ugly, depressed, cruel-looking creature with a devilish sneer. How can you tell? It's a towel. Yes, for Sir Hugo had fallen in love with a daughter of a local farmer, but she refused his advances.
No, never. I refuse her advances.
But Sir Hugo would not take no, never for an answer.
I cannot live without her. Bring her to me now!
Oh, I hate this boat.
No! Someone help me! Anyone save me!
Aye, boys, put her to the upstairs.
What a foolish man.
The worst is still yet to come.
That's terrible.
All right, let's eat. Time for my goodnight kiss.
Hurry! He's coming! Climb out the window! Grab the vine!
I must escape!
No! My bird had escaped! Set the hound upon her.
And a human being.
I thought you'd so supposedly bad if I can recapture my meaning. After her!
It was a terrible night. The rain was falling. The hounds were howling. And the horses were galloping across the moor. Soon, Sir Hugo and his hounds were out of sight. His henchmen lost the trail and had to ask two shepherds if they had.
Sing, Sir Hugo, go boy!
Hi, Sir Hugo Baskerville passed us, sitting high in the saddle upon his black mare. His eyes were crazed, and running behind him was a massive hound of such evil proportions that we fell to our knees just like this and prayed to the saints for deliverance. Oh, saints, deliver us! As Sir Hugo's henchmen moved forward, their skins turned cold. Coming at them from out of the mist was Sir Hugo's blocked man running for its very life. But its saddle was empty. Undaunted, they were off. Soon they came upon the hounds, who were all whimpering and cowering together. With their pistols raised, they made their way to the edge of a small clearing, where, in the cold light of the moon, the fair maiden had fallen dead from fear, fatigue, and something sinister.
Poor girl! Where's Sir Hugo? We should head back.
Then a sudden movement caught their eyes. The great, block, foul beast. A beast shaped like a hound, larger than any mortal eye has ever seen, and its teeth were tearing out the throat of Sir Hugo Baskerville. It was a terrible sight to see. Then its red, blazing eyes turned upon Sir Hugo's henchmen, who shrieked with fear. Won't they continue alive? Such is the tale, my sons, of the coming of the hound, which is said to have plagued our family so sorely ever since.
What a fantastic story! Absolutely brilliant!
An amusing little fairy tale, Dorothy. But what does it have to do with Sir Henry?
Well, ever since that night, Miss Holmes, the men of Baskerville Hall have died in bloody and often mysterious ways.
Is that a fact?
Indeed. And then, a few months ago, Sir Charles decided to take a late night stroll down his garden path.
Ah, more pieces to the puzzle.
Pardon me, my lord.
Good grief, man. Don't creep up on me like that.
I do beg your pardon, Sir Charles. I just thought I'd bring out the lantern, it being so dark.
Oh, there's no need, Barrymore. I grew up on this road.
But sir, there's no moon now.
That's enough, Barrymore. Go back to
Sir
the house.
Charles, it's quite some time since
Don't
we last.
cluck. Go back to the house and continue packing for tomorrow's trip to London.
Yes, sir. As you wish, sir.
Thank you, Barrymore. Are you there? You needn't be frightened. It's impossible. No. Wait. It can't be. Oh no! Oh no! Someone help me! No! 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 Ah!
Poor Uncle Charles.
And now, Dr. Mortimer, back to this article. Was Sir Charles' death a suspicious one?
Indeed.
According to the coroner's inquest, Sir Charles Baskerville died of heart failure.
Is that true?
Yes, that is correct.
Listen to this, Holmes. Sir Charles' footprints indicate that in the moments before his death, he was walking on tiptoes. It's as if he was creeping up on something, says Chief Constable Fenton.
That's intriguing, isn't it?
Miss Holmes, in the few months before Sir Charles' death, it became increasingly clear to me that his nervous system was strained to the breaking point. He had taken the legend of the Hound exceedingly to heart, so much so that nothing would induce him to go near the moor at night.
And yet, on the night of his death, he went and stood at the very edge of the moor for some time.
Now, why would Uncle Charles do it?
Why indeed? So, we have learned of the recent tragic death of Sir Charles, been introduced to his heir, and heard his quaint family legend. Now, sir, ma'am, be so good as to tell me why you are here.
At the inquest following Sir Charles' death, Barrymore the butler said there were no traces found upon the ground around the body. Apparently, he did not observe any. But I did. Footprints.
Please explain, Doctor.
I was called to the garden about an hour after the body was discovered by Barrymore the butler. Cardiac exhaustion. But the mask of terror on his face. I can't get it out of my mind.
Careful, everyone. This is a crime scene. Now, what exactly did you notice out of the ordinary, Doctor?
Over there, a few yards away from the body, I discovered the footprints.
Footprints? But I can't see any human prints.
Footprints, yes, but not human prints.
Not human footprints.
You're a city girl, Miss Holmes. You have no idea how treacherous the law can be. Shepherds have seen a creature, luminous, ghastly, a supernatural apparition spewing fire from its gaping jaws.
Supernatural, Dr. Mortimer. Please, you're a woman of sight.
The footprints were those of a gigantic hound, Miss Holmes. I know what I saw.
Paw-prints. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, I am. Forgive me. The terror on Sir Charles' face has unnerved me.
Is that wicket gate closed or open?
Closed and padlocked, yes.
It's really not that high or strong. Anyone could have climbed over it.
Excellent.
Sir Charles evidently stood by the gate for 5 to 10 minutes, by the way. The arch had twice dropped from his cigar.
Excellent, Dr. Mortimer. All right, one more look around before we move on.
Nothing more here,
Listen up, eh?
Now, Sir Henry, you are the heir to the Baskerville estate.
That's right. See, the funny thing is, 6 weeks ago I was driving 2,000 head of cattle down from Red Deer to Calgary, and now I'm Lord of Baskervilles.
There are no other claims. No, Sir Charles never married. Much like you, Doctor. I do beg your pardon. Just an observation.
Well, his younger brother, my father, died nearly 20 years ago.
Of course, there was Roger, the youngest of the 3 Baskerville brothers. He was the black sheep of the family and the spitting image of Sir Hugo, both in face and character. He fled to South America and died there in 1876 in Brazil of yellow fever. Never married. Sir Henry is the last of the Baskervilles.
The last of the Baskervilles, huh? That sounds like a dime.
But if something should happen to our young friend here, you will forgive me for the unpleasant hypothesis. Who would inherit the estate? If Sir Henry should die childless, then the estate would descend to the Desmonds, who are distant cousins. Elliot Desmond is an elderly clergyman who lives in the village of Coombe Tracy. Have you met Elliot Desmond? No. Reverend Desmond has not been to the Hall since he was a child. But St. Charles told me that he was a man who lived a saintly life. Sir Henry, why do you want to reside at Baskerville Hall when all the men who live there meet this evil fate?
Miss Holmes, it's my family estate, and no one will keep me away. No hound, no curse, and no little girls. No matter how many times they flip. And Uncle Charles helped those less fortunate in the region. I would like to keep up his good work.
That's very noble, you said.
Pardon me, Miss Holmes.
Yes, Mrs. Hudson.
A letter's come, specially delivered.
By who?
Sir. A young man, miss. 24, 25, I should think. 5'7", 10 or 11 stone. Soft hands, slight squint, brown eyes, sandy hair. A manner condescending, suggesting his position as a servant to one of the great hotels. More coffee.
They all like this. Mrs. Hudson, you surprise me.
One picks up things over time.
May I?
Oh, it's not for you, Missy. Sir Henry.
Thank you.
As you value your life or your reason, keep away from the law.
All cut out with scissors, I think, and glued onto the paper.
James, quick! Yesterday's Times.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Just here a moment ago.
Why are you reading yesterday's newspaper? The inside page, these articles. Read it, James.
What?
Any moment now.
Yes. Oh, looks like a boring piece about international trade or
James.
something. I can't make
James,
heads or
let's
tails.
read it.
Right. Sorry. Yes, here we go. Although you may be flattered into thinking that your own special trade or your own industry will...
There's the words you, your, or, and one more your. Now is the word the value in there.
Yes, here it is. Diminish the value of.
Now the word reason. See in there?
Yes. It stands to reason that such action would lead to the diminishment from all.
There's the words thus and from. Now the words keep, away, and as.
Keep, away, and as. And I found a lot too. All here, I think, except nor. I can't find the word more.
It's written in longhand. I can't imagine why.
It's not that common a word. Too much time to search throughout the entire edition.
Excellent, James. The villain only had time to read the first article he found.
Or she found.
Indeed, good point. We could be dealing with a fiendish woman. Very clever, either way. May I? As you value your life or your reason, keep away from the law. Thank you very much. Now, Miss Holmes, how did you know that the words came from yesterday's Times? The typeface used by the printer. No other paper uses it but the Times. Uncle Sherlock taught me that. And since Sir Henry just arrived yesterday, I deduce the words must have come from yesterday's Times. Your uncle
Not too well.
Of course you do. So, up to this point, we are dealing with an educated person. The Times is seldom found in the hands of the uneducated.
But by cutting out simple, everyday words to compose this,
That individual wants us to think that he or she is uneducated.
And that he or she feared that their handwriting might be recognizable.
It appears you have been followed.
Followed?
No use, he's gone. Tall, thin man with a dark beard.
Now that sounds like the idiot who almost ran me over this morning.
My goodness, Sir Henry, what happened?
I was almost trampled to death by a runaway freight wagon on Oxford Street.
are you quite all right? It's a very busy area.
You're telling me I'm fine, thank you. Just a bit unnerved. I jumped out of the way in the nick of time.
Dr. Mortimer, anyone living near Baskervilles Hall fitting that description?
Ah, yes, Sir Charles Baskervilles of Barrymore. He has a full dark beard.
Did Barrymore profit at all by Sir Charles' will?
I don't know all the details.
Forgive me.
Yet.
Who profited?
Well, there were many significant sums to individuals and a large number of charities.
He was a generous man.
Yes, who else?
Well, the Barrymores each received a sum of £5,000.
He was generous. Right, yes.
Did they know they would receive this sum?
Of course, Sir Charles was fond of talking about the provisions of his will.
Unwise.
I hope you won't suspect everyone who profited. After all, he left me 10,000.
An estimate, please. How much is the entire estate worth?
Estimate? Well, I'd have to say about £5 million.
Yes, well, so someone or something doesn't want you to ride the Baskerville horse, Henry, and we need to find out what's afoot.
How exciting. I can't wait.
You won't have to wait.
I won't.
You won't. You leave on tonight's train with Sir Henry and Dr. Mortimer.
I do?
You do.
I will.
You will.
You're sure?
I'm sure.
Not you, Miss Holmes. Will you take the case?
Yes, but first I have some business to attend to here.
What business?
In my uncle's absence, I have been asked by Scotland Yard to stop a blackmailer from causing a disastrous scandal.
But Holmes, when did you... Yes. It's very important. Whatever it is.
I will do my best to settle my prior obligations as quickly as possible. In the meantime, I shall send Watson here to look out for you, Sir Henry.
Never fear. James is here.
Oh dear.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Well, whatever you think is best.
On one point, Sir Henry, I must demand complete fidelity.
Now, what's that, eh?
Under no circumstance must you venture out onto the moor alone this night. I cannot impress the importance of this enough.
Then you do believe the legend?
No, of course not. You understand, Watson?
Yes.
You will send me letters by messenger as necessary. I'll join you when I can.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, my thanks to you both. Mr. Watson, see you on the train.
No, please don't be late. I do hate it when people are late.
That she does.
Well, I will try to be punctual. Thank you both. Have a wonderful afternoon.
And you.
Stay focused now, James. Keep your eyes and your ears open.
Well, I can't sleep around if I keep my eyes and ears closed, Shirley. But I'd rather not do this without you.
Totally silly. You've got Uncle John's pistol, don't you?
Yes, it's in the top shelf of the closet.
Don't underestimate yourself. You're a crack shot, just like your uncle.
Thank you,
There is something in the air, I just don't.
sir. The air? What's in the air?
The scent of murder, Watson. Murder.
The next morning, I set off for Baskerville Hall with Sir Charles and Dr. Mortimer.
Punctuality is next to godliness.
I thought that was cleanliness.
I've had it both ways.
Well, I'm sorry.
Are you all right?
Fine. All set. Just terrible traffic is all. I couldn't find a cab.
Well, don't worry. I was almost late myself. I couldn't find my old boots. I've just about had it with that old hotel.
What happened to your boots?
Well, yesterday I bought a new pair of boots on Regent Street.
As one should.
Right? Well, now before I went out to dinner, I put my new boots out, you know, and out to be oiled and clean. Now, but when I got back from dinner, one of the new boots was gone.
The other was still in the corridor.
Right, so I sent for the bellman. He searched high and low, but still no boot. Now this morning, before I went out to breakfast, I put my old boots out, you know, the ones I wore for regular, out to have them clean. But when I got back from breakfast, the old boots were gone, and guess what? The single boot is back.
The one that had disappeared the night before.
Whoa! Right, well, doesn't matter now, I'm all set.
So am I.
Well, that's a boring story. I was hoping for something exciting.
Not every story is exciting,
Well, Dr. Mortimer, I was thinking, we should invite Cousin Elliot Desmond over for a visit. I mean, it seems wrong he hasn't been there in so long.
A capital idea. Well, here we go. Now I'm a bit tired. I think I might rest my eyes for just a moment.
I'm pretty tired too, but I don't want to miss anything, Mr. Watson.
How could they sleep? Such an adventure. And Sir Henry's favorite boots, going missing just before the trip. That's a clue. To write this down. From Holmes? But how?
Watson, you must learn all you can about Sir Henry's neighbours. Anyone you might come in contact with. His servants included. Engage with them all. Suspect everyone and trust no one. Write me your observations as often as possible. Keep your pistol with you at all times. And never let Sir Henry venture out onto the moor alone at night. In conjunction with Sir Charles Dane. He is in grave danger, I'm sure of it.
But Sir Charles died of heart failure.
Watson, you should also know that Sir Charles was not walking on his tiptoes. The man was running. He was running away from something. He was running for his very life.
After a few hours, the brown earth had turned all red and splotchy, with thick grasses and ugly bushes everywhere. London was behind us. We were approaching with more.
Now what's all this? Looks like something from out of a nightmare, eh?
In the distance, against the rising full moon, we could see a jagged water, all dim and grey and ominous.
Be always on your guard, Sir Henry. The moor can be far more unforgiving and mysterious than your famous Canadian Rockies, I assure you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Mortimer, but I'm ready for whatever comes around the bend.
That's good to know, for we are almost here.
We are?
So this is Grimpen, then?
Ah, yes. Home, sweet home. It is good to be back.
It's so moist.
Hello there!
Perkins, good to see you. How are you?
You're missing.
Ah, Sir Henry, this is Perkins, our local drayman.
Ah, nice to meet you, Mr. Perkins.
Pleasure, my lord. I could say Henry, sir, but who's the twin?
James Watson. Hello, I'm very pleased to meet you, sir.
Pleasure, Miss Watson. You'll be sparking things up around your aspect, being so young.
Mind your manners, sir.
No offense intended, Governor. Just have my fun, is all. Right, hang on tight, folks. Rough.
Nothing won't be right, then. And I need to warn you, good people. A convict escaped from the asylum 3 months ago. A convict?
From the asylum, eh?
Oi, sir. He's been up 3 months now. We've had no sign of him yet. Farms don't like it, sir. Not too far.
But don't they receive £100 if they can give information?
Oi, Mum. £100 is a poor thing compared to having your throat cut. He isn't an ordinary convict.
Who is it?
Selden, Mum.
Selden, the Notting Hill murderer?
The very same, sir.
No, he's a bad one, is he?
But as way come, sir. They say he robbed and murdered 3 people. Just keep your eyes peeled, eh? Hey! Look him over, Henry.
Good evening, Dr. Moulton. Arrived safely, I see.
Good evening, Barrymore. Good to see you.
It's a magnificent
You
house.
know, it does seem like I just saw you only yesterday. Coincidence. Never right. Barrymore, this is Sir Henry Baskerville.
Welcome, Sir Henry, to Baskerville Hall.
And this young man is...
James Watson, hello, very pleased to meet you.
A pleasure, I'm sure.
He will be a guest of the hall for a few days.
Did you enjoy your time in London, Barrymore?
I beg your pardon, sir.
Didn't I see you in London yesterday? Baker Street.
No, sir. I've not visited the great city since my marriage to Mrs. Barrymore.
And when was that?
Fully 15 years ago, sir.
Of course. My apologies.
My wife, Elizabeth, is a housekeeper.
How do you do, sirs?
You must all be tired. Hot tea to be served shortly. Harkins!
Yes, Mr. Barrymore? She's my brother.
Ah,
Twins.
take... Take Mr. Watson's bags. Self-biscuit.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'll take your bag, sir.
Oh, no, Mr. Barrymore, I got it, thank you. Oh, you can leave this old carpet bag. It's full of my old traveling clothes.
Might I suggest something?
Of course.
I'm sure these old traveling clothes will be most welcome in the local church.
Well, that's a wonderful idea. Here, give them this too.
How generous of you, sir.
Thank you. So this is the family estate, huh? Needs a little sprucing up. I'll get right on that as soon as we deal with this Baskerville Hound problem.
Did you see how cold Mrs. Barrymore acted? And Barrymore has a full, dark beard.
Just like the man we saw through Holmes's window. Well, Dr. Martin, I was thinking it would be a good idea if I were to invite all my neighbors over for a visit to have a dinner for everyone.
Such a jest on your part, Sir Henry, would be warmly welcomed. There aren't many of us. Mr. Franklin of Laughter Hall, Stapleton the naturalist, and his sister Beryl are at Merripit House. A lovely young woman. I'd be happy to help you arrange it whenever you like.
I want you both to know I'm grateful for the help you've already given me. As you can see, I'm a bit of a fish out of water here.
Sir Henry, I have no doubt that your natural good sense and open demeanor will see you through. But now, if you both will excuse me, Perkins, let's be off. I'm exhausted. Good night, both of you. Oh, and Sir Henry, the more, be watchful.
Good night, Dr. Martin. Now, who's this gloomy-looking fellow?
Your ancestor, Sir Henry, Sir Hugo Baskerville himself.
Ah, the consulate all, eh?
So this is the wicked lord. Handsome devil, in a way. Piercing eyes.
Quite so. And here, poor man, on your right, is your Uncle Charles. Fairly recent, done only 2 years ago. After he had his portrait done, took down the one of Hugo, then felt comfortable looking at it. He even confessed to me he felt stalked by it.
Well, if I ever feel that way, I'll just turn the ugly thing to the wall. Mr. Barrymore, tomorrow I need to see where Uncle Charles died. I need to see his important papers, documents, records, everything.
Yes, sir. Will that be all?
All what? Oh, yes, well, that will do it, Mr. Barrymore. Here we go. Now, what's that?
It's almost a nightly occurrence, Sir Henry. Some say it comes from another world.
And what do you say, Barrymore?
I say, don't leave the house after dark. Never. Now, Sir Henry, are you ready?
Of course, yes. Well, Mr. Watson, good night. Sleep well, if you can.
Yes. Good idea. Good night, Sir Henry.
Ah.
Lonely at last. Time to make some notes. Sure. Mrs. Barrymore is very helpful. Perkins is a ridiculous coach driver, but he did tell us of the notorious Notting Hill murderer, who has escaped and is hiding out in Moor. Oh, and Sir Henry believes that someone stole his boots at the hotel. And Barrymore has a full dark beard, though he says he hasn't been to London in 15 years. More later. And that wailing a moment ago? Is that the lunatic? Or something worse, maybe? Hear that? Kept me up most of the night. I tossed and turned, but I couldn't sleep. And the wind! What am I doing here? I should have stayed in London. Well, here I go. Good morning, Sir Henry.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Watson.
Good morning, Mr. Barry.
Now, Mr. Watson, did you hear something last night? A woman, perhaps?
A woman?
Yes, a woman stomping in the night.
So that's what it was. Yes, it kept me up most.
A dream, most likely, Sir Henry. Sleep is often fitful on board, or the wind racing across the moor surface, giving all sorts of strange noises.
The sound was most certainly coming from inside the house, not out in the moor. I thought perhaps it might have been Mrs. Barrymore.
We share the same room, sir. If my wife were crying, I would have known.
Right. Good morning, Mrs. Barrymore.
Morning, Mr. Watson.
Barrymore, your family has been with the Hall for quite some time.
Yes, my family served the Hall for 4 generations.
In that case, you know the families that inhabit the Hall.
We do, sir.
Tell me about your closest neighbors.
First would be Dr. Mortimer. Northeast of us would be Lofter House of Mr. Franklin and his wife.
Franklin, I feel like I've heard that name.
He spent a considerable fortune on litigation. Mr. Franklin sued for mere pleasure of it.
Ah, I know the sort. And the small cottage we passed.
Married house, that is, Mr. Stapleton and his sister, now.
Quite lively.
And her brother.
He's a naturalist, scientist.
Ah, so what we have close by are the homes of the Stapletons, Dr. Mortimer and Mr. Franklin. Mr. Franklin has no other family.
He has a daughter, Laura. A rather sad situation, I might add. She married an artist named Lyons. He proved to be a blackguard and deserted her. Since she married without her father's consent, he refused to have anything to do with her.
Well, thank you very much. It's been most helpful. Did you sleep well, Mrs. Barrymore?
As well as can be expected, what with the chill in the air.
And with a lunatic on the loose, eh?
Mrs. Barrymore,
Do you think it was something I said?
No, just the shocking strain of Sir Charles' death is all. Now, if there were to be anything else, I have work to be done. Sirs?
More?
Did you see her eyes? All red and bloodshot. She hadn't slept a wink. Something is off here, sir. You need to watch her back.
Point well taken. Well, I'm off to Sir Charles' step.
I wish you luck. With this new information, I needed to fill Shirley in. So, I wrote Shirley a letter. Dear Shirley, things have been well. I arrived at Baskervilles Hall last night, though I'd say the ride was quite bumpy. The driver didn't seem to miss a single block or hole. Either way, I hope the information that I've gathered so far will be of use to you. Sincerely, James. And I gave the letter to Lavender, who hopped on the train.
All aboard!
And ran through the famous streets of London. And delivered the letter to Shirley.
Hi, Miss Hound.
Yes. Oh, thank you so very much. Bye. Stalked by a portrait, one missing boot, moaning in the night, suspicious housekeepers, and escaped lunatics. So vivid, I felt I was right there with you.
But you're not. You're there and I'm here. It's too much for one person to keep up with. I'm off to see the train. More later.
For heaven's sake, Franklin, you can't sit. I must insist that your sister stay off my land.
Franklin, Beryl has long said to their person of friendship and esteems you and your wife as a friend.
Perhaps we have different understandings of friendship. Mine does not include the deliberate entering of another person's property without the benefit of an invitation.
Franklin, you go too far. Beryl would never.
I walk across the moors, no pig can let me turn. It smells like dirt, you avoid that. Wet stuff all over the place. Bubbly cool.
Stop! Don't take another step. Watch out every step, young man. You'll be lost forever.
Thank you for the warning.
One false step yonder means death to man or beast. Just the other day I saw a horse wandering. Didn't stand a chance. Poor animal.
Well, if you saw it, why didn't you help pull it out?
Well, it wasn't my animal, was it?
Gosh, this must be an awful place.
They don't call Brinkman the murky moor for nothing.
And what do they call you, sir?
The Jap is Singleton. And this is Mr. Franklin.
Franklin.
Sir.
I say, is that a purdy? May I?
Sure.
What a splendid garden. Oh, I think a bit heavy for woodcock or even grouse.
It's not for birds, Noddy. It's for men.
I beg your pardon.
Mr. Franklin, like myself, spends a good deal of his time out on the moor.
And you are concerned about...
Seldom. He butchered his family, he won't butcher mine.
Why? And I see you're a scientist.
A naturalist.
Naturalist.
Naturalist. In search of botanical species. I've only been here 2 years, but I know every trail in and out of the moor.
A pleasure to meet you. My name is...
James Watson. Nephew of Dr. John Watson, famous surgeon and companion of Sherlock Holmes. Dr. Mortimer and I are neighbors. I was having tea with Maxine this morning. I trust Sir Henry is none the worse for his journey.
He is quite well fed. He longs to make the acquaintance of his neighbors as soon as possible.
Oh, we shall be honored, I'm sure.
This means a great deal to the countryside.
The Baskervilles have always taken a great deal of interest in the welfare of their neighbors. We are all eager to see if Sir Henry will take up the mantle. You will excuse me, gentlemen.
You seem to have offended him.
Jack, you forgot your life.
Hello. My sister, Beryl. Beryl, this is James Watson. Maxine mentioned him.
Hello, yes. Very nice to meet you.
And so you've come to investigate the shocking death of Sir Charles. It's a shame the fabulous duo couldn't make it themselves, but I'm sure you'll do your best.
Of course. Did you know Sir Charles well?
Oh, yes. Most charming. His favorite walk was over the moor to our
For
house.
good company and conversation. I had a school up in the North Country, helping to mold young minds, very satisfying work. Sir Charles was a great supporter of education.
But the fates were against us.
Oh, what fates might those have been, sir? A serious epidemic broke out at our school.
3 of the boys died.
Dear, bad luck indeed. My condolences.
Our capital was used up. The school never recovered. Indeed, neither of us have recovered.
And my love of nature sustains me. I have the most complete collection of Lepidoptera in the entire southwest of England.
Lepidoptera? What's that?
Butterflies and moths, dear boy. Your uncle might have known that.
You must come and visit us for dinner, Mr. Watson. Please, I insist.
You are too kind. But I must get back to Sir Henry. We have much to do today. What was that?
Just the mud settling, gurgling's all.
That was no gurgle, Mr. Stapleton. That was a living, breathing sound. Did something else get caught?
No, the more plays tricks on your senses, Mr. Watson. All you're hearing is the sound of fear. It's safe for you in London. Encyclopedies. That's a bad fly to you, Mr. Watson.
It's nice to catch.
Go back, Mr. Watson, quickly.
Well, yes, I was just
London, go back to London this instant and take Sir Henry with
But
you.
we have to figure out how Sir Charles
Silly
died.
boy, it's imperative. You must leave now.
I am not a silly boy, and make no mistake about it. And I am determined to find out exactly how Sir Charles died, and how to keep Sir Henry safe. But you might want to make your warning to Sir Henry, who is currently walking on the moor by himself.
Warning? What warning?
Miss Beryl Stapleton, may I present Sir Henry Baskervilles.
Well, a pleasure, I'm sure. Well, if I'm not mistaken, you and your brother are my neighbors.
Oh, yes, as I was just telling Mr. Watson, we moved here to get away. But we have got to enjoy getting to know our interesting neighbors.
Oh, I'm sorry, I must have gotten distracted. What warning were we talking about?
I spoke out of turn, a trifle too passionately.
Oh, Miss Stapleton, put your mind at rest. Look out there. On such a beautiful morning and with such an attractive companion, I'm sure I can handle anything you can throw at me.
Jack and I were fortunate enough to become close friends with your uncle. We grieved terribly at his death. When I heard of another family member coming to live here, I felt we should be warned of the danger that you will run.
But what danger?
You know the story of the Hound.
Oh, well, I don't believe in such nonsense.
But I do. You're in danger, Sir Henry. Be watchful. It's a pleasure to meet you both.
And surely, you should have seen the look of fear in her eyes, though small despair present, and Stapleton's condescending tone, Lepidoptera, and that moaning sound. But wait a moment, there's more. Later that night, when I'm almost asleep, the strangest thing happened. I was almost asleep when I heard footsteps coming down the hall. I froze, didn't move a muscle. Footsteps stopped just outside my door. Then, after a moment, they continued down the hallway. What would I do? What would Shirley do?
I'd follow the flickering candle jets. Not too close, not too far.
Of course. You wouldn't stay in bed. You didn't hide in the covers.
Of course I would.
Open the door, peek out,
The light, James. Follow the light.
look down the hall.
Don't lose the light.
A man, very old perhaps, in shirt and trousers with no covering on his feet. He doesn't want to be heard. So I begin stalking his shadowy figure. He stays so far behind me now that I think I've lost him. But then, I catch a thin glimmer of light through a barely open door. There, you see,
And two, please.
I open the door, peek inside the room. Barrymore's holding a candle high against the window, and he lets out a deep groan and blows out the candle. I press myself into the shadows. I see hurriedly passes me by.
That's close.
Then he disappears down the hall. I return to my room, gaze out the window in the same direction that Barrymore was looking. When a quick movement caught my eye.
Which was
It moved so fast nobody caught a glimpse of it. But its eyes were red and it was breathing flame. Holmes, I saw something. The Hound of the Baskervilles, or the Hound of Hell. The next few days were a flurry of activity, as Sir Henry prepared for his welcoming dinner. More difficult, however, was his learning of the manners and customs of being Lord of Baskerville Hall. The night before the party, he was plagued with torment.
You've decided against the champagne, then, sir?
Yes,
The chef.
I think so. Well, I don't know. I don't want it to look like I'm trying too hard.
Yes, sir. Sherry, then.
Oh, yes, I suppose that's best. Oh, Barrymore, everything good in the kitchen?
All in hand. Right lamb is one of Miss Barrymore's specialities.
Oh, so you don't think we should go with the beef then?
The lamb will be fine, sir.
Yes. Of course. Oh, Barrymore, what do you think of these shoes? Are you sure I'm supposed to wear these with my suit?
Yes, patent leather, always in the evening.
Right. Of course it is. Sorry.
You needn't worry, Sir Henry. Barrymore knows his business.
I know, I just can't help but think I'm a disappointment to them.
To Barrymore?
And his missus. I mean, their family has been with the house for so long and with always a proper gentleman at the helm. And now they get saddled with me, a man who doesn't know what shoes to wear for dinner.
Sir Henry, you are the Lord of Baskerville Hall, a title that is held in honor and grace.
What is that?
What do you think of the style?
Well, you see, it's just a bit unbalanced. You know, just give it to me.
I just want everything to go well. You know, first chance to entertain the neighbors, eh?
And then, of course, there's Miss Stapleton.
Well, of course, the prettiest neighbor.
The two of you have been spending a good deal of time together.
Well, you should know you've been following us around like a shadow for the past 2 weeks.
Well, I've tried to be discreet, Sir Henry.
There will come a time, Mr. Watson.
Sir Henry, if I may be so bold, you met Miss Stapleton only less than a fortnight ago. Is that really enough time for you to truly know? Think about it.
Well, I know she's beautiful, and I know she's smart, and anything else I need to know, I will learn in time.
And I wish you the very best, Sir Henry. Unfortunately, there isn't any proper garb here for you to wear tomorrow night. But I am sure Barrymore is perfectly on top of it. You will look splendid.
Thank you. The fact of the matter is, I want Miss Stapleton to see the hall at its very best tomorrow.
Oh, she will. Mrs. Barrymore is a fine cook, and the dinner will be absolutely exquisite. A little champagne to warm things up.
Oh, you think we should go with the champagne then?
But I thought you told Barrymore that
Barrymore!
Yeah. We were so exhausted I would have thought it'd be a quiet night. But I was wrong. Barrymore did that thing with the candle again. I just had to write you another letter, Shirley. Dear Shirley, how have you been? How is Mrs. Hudson? I think you are probably eating very well because you are eating both yours and my portion. Please remember to go easy on the caffeine. You know what it does to you and your uncle. Either way, I hope this information will be excellently helpful to you. There's quite a lot of it. Sincerely, James. And I gave that very important letter to a messenger. To our miss.
What information is private? Private? Excuse me? Sir! Come on! Oh, yes, the letter. Oh, good, thank you. My goodness, I'm so...
Oh, you're back so soon.
What do we have this time, eh? Roads and houses and the madness of war.